Window flower boxes can turn any simple window into a beautiful space. So today in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how I turned my simple window into a beautiful thing. And if I'm not a carpenter and I did it, you can do it too. So let's begin. This project belongs to a simple DIY project with a small amount of investment and big result. So my window is fairly old, some chipped paint here and there. The first thing what I did, I refreshed the window with a fresh layer of paint. I actually put 2 layers. I scraped away all the old paint, so as you can see, window looks quite disheveled. But it's good to do that base job before you start installing shelves near the window. So for this project, you would need, I went to Home Depot and I bought 2 corbels. Actually, those will be serving me as brackets. And those brackets I found in molding department in your home improvement center. I bought 2 of them. They are wooden and I'm planning to paint them. The second piece of equipment you would need some sort of a shelf. And I went for treated wood. My plank is quite wide. It is standard for my home improvement center, which is Home Depot. I cut it to my desired measurements. And I also need paint. In my case, I wanted to match the color of the shelf to the color of the window, which is white. But you can use stains, you can use treated wood. Keep in mind that wood there would be exposed to elements and to water, which would be running out from under the pots. So area there needs some sort of drainage and definitely sources under the flower pots. I also went for optional decorational element. I went into the molding department in Home Depot and I found a wooden decorative rope molding. And there are plenty to choose from, so you can have your fun times there. I went for this simple one, and I'm going to paint it and install it on the side of the shelving to make it more interesting, more engaging for the eye to look at that shelf. I'm using extra glossy white paint. It's more durable and it has a tendency to serve longer on the outside. And by all means, I'm applying 2 coats. So why window shelves, in my opinion, are better than window boxes? Well, window shelves has more usage. For example, it can be very seasonal, how you want to put your window pots on the shelf. So instead of planting and replanting that window box with the seasons, you can just switch the pots. For example, me, right now I have sedum growing in the front of my house, and now is the time for that sedum to bloom. And that sedum is very low to the ground, so I want to elevate it and put it at the eye level. That's another good feature of window shelves, flower shelves. And then I can enjoy it by looking at eye level. And the beauty of a plant is different when you look at it from a different perspective. Of course, beautiful window sills create a wonderful curb appeal. There's something magical when you go past the house and the house is well decorated with window flower boxes. Also, I can enjoy now, when I have that window sill, window shelf, I can enjoy my flowers from the inside. I can actually come in and water them from the window from the inside. So there are a lot of bonuses to have a window shelf instead of window box. Window box can be easier to install, and window shelf, maybe if it's very low to the ground, animals can knock off the pots. So keep that in mind. My shelf is quite high, so I don't think I will run into that risk. And if you have that, you would need to use some sort of a border around that shelf. The biggest thing about this project, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, is to find the studs near the window. So when you look at the build-up of the house, the window is attached to 2 studs which are running alongside the window, and it's very important to find them because your shelf is going to be weight-bearing shelf, right? Plants are heavy. and they need to be well attached to the house. So that can be the biggest thing for the beginner beginner carpenter. Personally, me, what I did, I went into Home Depot and I acquired about stud finders. You can hire somebody for you to find those studs around the windows, or you can buy yourself a stud finder. It's not expensive. In my local home improvement center, it's just $17, the simple one, which looks only for studs. And my house has shingles. So under the shingles, I assume there are a lot of different layers before it reaches the stud. So when you use the stud finder and you have the house like mine, don't use it from the outside. Use it from the inside and then kind of trace it to the outside near the window and see where those studs are. And how do you know that you are drilling into the stud or you're drilling into empty space? When you drill into empty space, suddenly your drill goes poof into this empty space. But when you find the stud, it goes nicely in. So make sure that if you're not comfortable, don't do it alone. Ask somebody to do it for you. That's the most difficult, challenging part in doing all this project. My brackets came already with pre-installed spaces for screws and screws included. But I think they were like inch and a half long, so that was way too short to attach them to my house. So I went back to Home Depot, 3 times, and I bought 3 inches screws, quite long and quite good, to go in and reach the stud past the shingles. And I know right now it looks really bad, but I'm going to use either putty or sealant to hide those spaces where screws are coming in. So basically what I'm doing, instead of going from the back of brackets, I'm drilling all the way through the brackets with long screws and attach them to the house. When you start a project like that, it is important to do all the painting at the beginning of the project. It's much harder to do painting when the project is installed and you have to go through all the details, make sure that you don't paint the house. So I gave 2 coats to my shelving on the table. And now it's time to do all the touch-ups, because inevitably there would be scrapes and paint misshapes, like it happened to be right here. I forgot that I painted the top of the shelf and I accidentally touched it with my fingers. Oh well, not the first mistake in my life, right? The molding is being attached with the help of nails. And I use nails without heads because I want to hide those nails into the molding. So what I do, I hit them with a hammer all the way to the surface of the mold. And again, carpenter guys there, don't even listen to me, because this is me explaining it. Person who is not doing carpentry to people, probably you, who are not into carpentry either. So I hammer those nails without heads all the way to the surface of the molding. This way, when the paint coat comes over, it hides those nails. So you can't really see them on the molding, and it doesn't distract your eye from the beautiful picture of that design in front of the shelf. The sedums of the front in my house are serving the job right now of hiding the bare land, because recently I took the shrubberies out of that middle section. By the way, here's a video how I did it. And all those plants are temporarily there before I come up with some solid planting plan. Sounds funny, planting plan, but that's what it is. So that sedum is so low and it's so beautiful when you look at it close, and there are so many bees on it that it's almost like a crime not to display it well. And you know what funny thing is? When I was moving that sedum, there were like 5 or 6 bees there on the flowers, and they all were moving with me. It was so funny, so cute. So I'm here, I'm very careful, putting this beautiful sedum on the window. And it feels super special to have this windowsill, because it's convenient. I can display different flowers there again. So now is fall, and when sedums are in bloom, they can be there. And my husband recently went to that window. He said, "Hey, I can see the flowers from the window," which is so great, right? Voila! My beautiful windowsill. It looks lovely. And you know what I was thinking? The space here is empty, so maybe for next year I can install one of these supports here, because it looks like my bacopa loves this space here, and I can introduce more of flowers here on this wall. But that's for another season, you know, dreams through the winter. Or what I can do, I can put a hook here into this wood, since this wood is so thick. And for the winter, I can display all sorts of wreaths here, you know, to make garden more vivacious and more festive. And that's, again, a topic for another day. Happy message time from Y. Belsa-Mendez. And I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. This viewer said, "Congratulations, Olga. You're very inspiring and uplifting, and your family is very supportive. Your videos are always a pleasure to watch. Looking forward to learning from you." Thank you so much, and happy gardening.